The piercing shriek of the alarm shattered the stillness of the early morning. It was a sound that Lieutenant Emily Carter had grown accustomed to, yet it never failed to send a jolt of adrenaline through her system. The shrill noise clawed Lieutenant Emily Carter from her sleep, dragging her from the depths of a dreamless slumber into the harsh reality of her duties. Heart pounding, she leaped from her bunk with the practiced precision of someone who had done this countless times before. Her body moved on autopilot, every muscle and nerve finely tuned to respond to the call of duty. Red lights bathed the room in an eerie glow, casting long shadows that danced on the walls. The emergency lights were a stark reminder that this was not a drill, but a real situation that required immediate action. This was not a drill. Adrenaline surged through her veins, sharpening her senses and focusing her mind. She moved with a sense of urgency, knowing that every second counted. As she pulled on her flight suit, the familiar weight and feel of the gear brought a sense of comfort and readiness. Every movement was precise, honed by years of rigorous training and countless hours of preparation. Her mind raced, already calculating, anticipating the challenges ahead. She knew that in moments like these, there was no room for error. Every decision, every action had to be perfect. Reaching the ready room, she was met by a cacophony of urgent voices and flashing screens. The room was a hive of activity, with personnel moving quickly and efficiently, each one playing a crucial role in the mission. The situation was relayed with clipped efficiency. A civilian aircraft was in distress, off course and dangerously low on fuel. The gravity of the situation was clear, and there was no time to waste. The squadron commander briefed the pilots with a sense of urgency, his voice cutting through the noise. "Carter, you're up!" he boomed, his voice brooking no argument. "Get out there and bring them home." The image of the civilian aircraft in distress flashed on the screen, a stark reminder of the lives at stake. The aircraft was off course and dangerously low on fuel, a situation that required immediate intervention. "Carter, you're up!" boomed the squadron commander, his voice brooking no argument. "Get out there and bring them home." With a nod of determination, Carter turned and headed towards her aircraft. She knew the weight of the responsibility on her shoulders, but she was ready. This was what she had trained for, and she was prepared to do whatever it took to bring those people home safely. Climbing into the cockpit of her fighter jet, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. This was her domain, her sanctuary. As she strapped in and prepared for takeoff, she knew that it was time to be a guardian, to protect and serve. The mission was clear, and she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Emily strapped into the cockpit of her F-16, her fingers moving with practiced precision as she secured each strap. The cockpit was her second home, a place where she felt both the thrill of freedom and the weight of responsibility. Every mission was a test, not just of her skills, but of her resolve, her pulse quickening as she felt the familiar thrum of the jet. The vibrations coursed through her, a reminder of the raw power at her fingertips. She took a deep breath, steadying herself for the task ahead. The roar of the engine was both a comfort and a challenge, a call to action that she could never ignore. Each click of the harness was a step closer to the edge, a ritual that grounded her in the present moment. The harness was more than just a safety measure. It was a symbol of the thin line between control and chaos. With each click, she felt a surge of adrenaline, a reminder of the stakes involved. The precipice between duty and danger, her eyes focused and unwavering, scanned the runway ahead. This was her domain, a place where every decision mattered. The runway stretched out like a promise, a path that would soon blur into the sky. She was ready, her mind sharp and her senses heightened. The ground crew scurried like ants, their movements a blur as they prepped her aircraft with practiced efficiency. Each member of the crew had a role to play, a piece of the puzzle that ensured her safety and success. Their coordinated efforts were a testament to teamwork and trust, a silent promise that they had her back. Their movements a blur as they prepped her aircraft with practiced efficiency. The ground crew's actions were a dance of precision, each step choreographed to perfection. They moved with a sense of urgency, aware that every second counted. The hum of activity around her was a comforting reminder that she was not alone in this endeavor. She ran through the pre-flight checklist, her fingers dancing over the controls. Each switch, each button, was a familiar friend, a part of the intricate machinery that she had come to know so well. The checklist was a ritual, a moment of calm before the storm. It was a chance to ensure that everything was in place, that every system was ready for the challenge ahead, her fingers dancing over the controls. The tactile feedback of the buttons and switches was reassuring, a physical connection to the machine that would soon carry her into the sky. She could feel the power of the jet, a latent force waiting to be unleashed. Each movement was deliberate, a testament to her training and experience. Falcon 1, cleared for immediate takeoff, crackled the voice in her headset. The words were a green light, a signal that it was time to go. She acknowledged the clearance with a calm, steady voice, masking the excitement that bubbled beneath the surface. This was the moment she had been preparing for, the culmination of countless hours of training and preparation. No time to think, only to act. Her hand moved to the throttle, her grip firm and confident. The world outside the cockpit seemed to fade away, leaving only the task at hand. She was in the zone, a state of heightened awareness where every second stretched into an eternity. There was no room for doubt, only action. She pushed the throttle forward. The response was immediate, the jet surging forward with a burst of power. The force pressed her back into her seat, a physical reminder of the speed and strength of the aircraft. She could feel the acceleration, a rush that never failed to thrill her. This was what she lived for, the moment when everything came together. The roar of the engine reverberated through her very being as the F-16 surged forward, the sound a symphony of power and precision. The runway blurred beneath her, the landscape rushing past in a dizzying display of speed. She was airborne, the ground falling away as she climbed into the sky. The sensation was exhilarating, a reminder of why she had chosen this path, pinned to her seat by an invisible force. The G-forces pressed against her, a physical challenge that she met with determination and grit. She focused on her breathing, steadying herself against the pressure. The sky opened up before her, a vast expanse of possibility. She was in her element, a pilot in command of her destiny. The world outside dissolved into a blur of green and brown as she hurtled down the runway. The G-force pressed against her chest, stealing her breath. Faster and faster she flew, the ground rushing beneath her like a runaway train. Her eyes narrowed, focusing on the single point in the distance that marked her release. Then, with a bone-jarring jolt, they were airborne. The earth fell away, replaced by the boundless expanse of the sky. Up and up they climbed, a silver dart piercing the heavens. Emily adjusted her course, homing in on the distressed aircraft's signal. Every second counted. The F-16, her angel's fury, responded to her touch with the sensitivity of a well-trained steed. She pushed the fighter to its limits, the wind screaming past the canopy. Clouds whipped by, obscuring the world below in a swirling tapestry of white and gray. She flew with instinct and precision, her years of training kicking in. "Falcon 1, this is Mayday!" A panicked voice crackled over the radio. "We're losing altitude. We can't hold on much longer." Hope and desperation mixed. "Hang in there, Mayday," Emily responded, her voice calm, steady. "I'm on my way." She banked hard, the world tilting around her. The storm that had ensnared the civilian aircraft was a swirling vortex of dark clouds and lightning. Rain lashed against her canopy, obscuring her vision. Emily navigated the treacherous conditions with nerves of steel. She relied on her instruments, her training, and her gut. Through the driving rain, she spotted it, a faint silhouette struggling to stay aloft. The small plane was buffeted by the wind, its wings dipping precariously. "Mayday, this is Falcon 1, Emily called, her voice a beacon of hope in the storm. "I have you in sight." Relief flooded the radio waves. Emily maneuvered her fighter into a position beside the distressed aircraft. The storm raged around them, but inside the cockpit she found a strange pocket of calm. The civilian plane was a stark contrast to her sleek fighter, its white paint dulled by the elements. She could see the fear in the eyes of the passengers pressed against the windows. "Mayday, I'm going to guide you through this," she said, her voice a lifeline of reassurance. "Just stay with me." She spoke slowly, clearly, keeping her voice even. "Trust me," she thought, hoping they could hear the unspoken message in her voice. "I won't let you down." With calm precision, Emily directed the pilot of the civilian aircraft through a series of maneuvers designed to stabilize the plane and minimize its fuel consumption. She flew in perfect synchronization with the struggling aircraft, a ballet of metal and wind against the backdrop of the storm. Every movement was critical. Minutes stretched into an eternity as they battled the elements. She fought against the wind, the rain, and the relentless pull of gravity. Finally, through a break in the clouds, Emily glimpsed the distant lights of the airfield. Hope surged through her. They were going to make it. With Emily leading the way, they emerged from the storm into the clear blue sky beyond. The setting sun painted the clouds in hues of gold and crimson, a breathtaking spectacle that belied the ordeal they had just endured. Relief washed over her as the civilian aircraft landed safely on the runway. She circled above, watching, waiting until the wheels touched down and the plane taxied to a stop. Only then did she allow herself to breathe. The weight of responsibility lifted from her shoulders, replaced by the sweet satisfaction of a mission accomplished. As she climbed out of the cockpit, she was met with the cheers of the ground crew. The sound of their applause was like a wave crashing over her, a symphony of gratitude and relief. Each clap echoed the intensity of the mission she had just completed, a mission that had tested her skills and her resolve to the very limit. The ground crew, with their grease-stained uniforms and weary eyes, had been her silent supporters, the unsung heroes who ensured her jet was always ready for the skies. Their cheers were not just for her, but for the collective effort that had brought her back safely. And then there were the passengers, the civilians whose lives she had protected. Their faces, etched with a mix of fear and gratitude, told stories of near misses and second chances. They approached her hesitantly at first, unsure if words could convey the depth of their thanks. But as they spoke, their voices trembling with emotion, She felt the weight of her responsibility lift slightly. Each thank you was a reminder of why she had chosen this path, why she had endured the grueling training and the long hours away from home. It was for moments like these, when her actions had a direct impact on the lives of others. But the real reward was the quiet sense of accomplishment that settled in her heart. It was a feeling that words could scarcely capture, a deep, abiding sense of purpose that went beyond medals and accolades. As she stood there, surrounded by the people she had saved and the team that had supported her, she felt a profound connection to something greater than herself. It was a reminder that her role was not just about flying a jet, but about being a guardian, a protector of the skies and the people beneath them. She had answered the call of duty, faced her fears, and emerged victorious. Each mission was a test, not just of her skills as a pilot, but of her courage and her commitment to the values she held dear. There were moments of doubt, times when the weight of her responsibilities seemed almost too much to bear. But she had persevered, drawing strength from her training, her team, and the knowledge that she was part of something much larger than herself. Her determination was a beacon, guiding her through the darkest of times and the most challenging of missions. She was a guardian, a protector of the skies. This title was not just a designation, but a badge of honor that she wore with pride. It was a testament to her dedication, her bravery, and her unwavering commitment to her duty. As she stood by her jet, looking out over the airfield, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be, doing exactly what she was meant to do. The sky was her domain, and she was its steadfast guardian. And she wouldn't have had it any other way. The challenges, the sacrifices, the moments of fear and doubt, they were all part of the journey, part of what made her the pilot and the person she was. She cherished the camaraderie with her fellow pilots and the ground crew, the shared experiences that forged unbreakable bonds. Each mission, each flight, was a chapter in her story, a story of resilience, courage, and unwavering dedication. Emily looked up at the vast expanse of the sky, feeling a profound sense of connection to the endless blue above. The sky was not just a backdrop for her flights, but a canvas of possibilities, a realm where she could push the boundaries of what was possible. It was a place where she felt truly alive, where her spirit soared as high as her jet. The sky was her sanctuary, her place of solace and strength. Now ablaze with the colors of the setting sun, the sky seemed to mirror the emotions swirling within her. The vibrant hues of orange, pink, and purple painted a picture of hope and renewal, a reminder that each day brought new opportunities and new challenges. As she watched the sun dip below the horizon, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. It was a beautiful day to be alive, a day that had tested her limits and reaffirmed her purpose. It was a beautiful day to be alive. The sky, with its ever-changing tapestry of colors and clouds, was a constant reminder of the beauty and wonder of the world. As she smiled, looking up at the sky, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the life she had chosen. It was a life of challenges and sacrifices, but also one of immense rewards and profound fulfillment, and an even better day to fly. The roar of the jet engines, the thrill of takeoff, the exhilaration of soaring through the skies, these were the moments that made it all worthwhile. As she prepared for her next flight, she felt a surge of excitement and anticipation. The sky was calling, and she was ready to answer. For Emily, there was no greater joy than the freedom of flight, the sense of purpose that came with being a guardian of the skies.